Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Welcome tonight to day number 150. We are ready to roll. I'm absolutely amazed that it is day 150. I was thinking about it this afternoon when we were preparing, and I said, oh my goodness, that's 5 months. That's 530 days. And of course, today, already in Ukraine, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are 100% live. 6:03 out there in California, 4:03 a.m. in Ukraine, and already the 24th of July there, which means we are officially 5 months because the initial invasion happened on the 24th of February. So we'll even be talking about that a little bit tonight. So I want to welcome all of you in here. I've actually got some help, as you know, and we're going to talk about it at the end. Tomorrow is our auction, and folks, I've got a preview video for you. And if you are a part of this community and you are not here local in Pennsylvania or Ohio, you are going to be more than welcome to join, to watch. I'm even going to turn on my super chats where you can give through YouTube, whatever you want to do, because we need to have a major day tomorrow. And we're going to. So we're going to give you a preview about that in a little while. Big day coming up for the auction tomorrow. Now, with that said, I'm in the process not only doing a stream tonight in the update, but we've also been doing some preparatory work. We have an intro video rolling out tomorrow. And tonight, as you can see, the chat is rolling. I've got Ricochet out there in California keeping us safe and talking. I'm sorry, Jeffrey Burnett out there in California, keeping us safe in the chat and talking to you guys. I also have Brian Heckman in studio tonight. He is the guy that does a lot of voiceovers, and we were just working on some video. We have to finish after the stream for tomorrow, but I'll give you an overhead. There he is. He's running the chat for me tonight. There you go. So we've got him in studio, and so welcome for Brian. We'll even give him a cheer. All right. So that is where we're at. So you'll see a lot of activity on the chat tonight. So thank you guys, and it's much appreciated. Huge night of news. Huge night. And here we go. All right. So today, hottest zones. I want to talk about this first. The hottest zones of military activity today are happening in the east and in the south. In the east, sorry, Brian, not a bot. No, he's not a bot. He's real. In the east, Kramatorsk, Slavyansk. Of course, we know about these areas. But what I want to show you, I've got lots of red circles right here. Of course, in the middle is Kramatorsk and Slavyansk. You guys know it. That black line represents the M3 highway. We've discussed that many times. It is the artery that is necessary to take this territory. Remember, as Jania has taught us, we have shown videos. There are basically farms and wasteland in that pocket right there. Very few towns, very few roads. Now, all of the smaller circles around the actual front line. Today, over the last 24 hours, there have been intensive battles. If you look at the bottom left of this graphic, I actually have a tug of war symbol. That is because Ukraine has been pushing, and then Russia has been pushing back, and there's really been strong battles today on the front lines here on these hot zones. So a lot of give and take today on both sides. So for that, it's better than the red line coming forward. I can tell you that. Now, secondly, down on the south, I want to get all of this straight first. If you look, this is a zoom in on Kherson and Mykolaiv. Russia is pushing from the left and the right along this line, but Ukraine is making some push down the highway region from the north central of Kherson. I placed on the map tonight two golden, what is that, a greater than and a less than sign? I just used them to signify an area. This zone is nothing but agriculture. We're talking miles and miles and miles. It would be much like Iowa and the cornfields, North Carolina, and the massive. I'm down in North Carolina quite a bit over in Elizabeth City. They have one field that's 7 miles long. It's famous. We're talking miles and miles of farmland. So this is basically a no man's land, and it's going to be pretty tough to push back. But Ukraine is making some good effort there on the pushback. Now, we're going to talk about grain in a moment, but before we do that, I want to talk about steel, because Russia, is stealing the steel. And $600 million in steel products are not only confirmed stolen, but they're confirmed sold. Who bought them? European Union nations bought the majority of the stolen Ukrainian steel sold by Russia. How do we know that? Confirmed by Yuri Rozhenkov. You may ask tonight, who is Yuri Rozhenkov? He is the owner of Azovstal Steel and the Mariupol Iluch steel plant. Company Meta Invest. He owns the companies. He owns the Azovstal. You're talking about a loss. Of course, he knows where the products are. He's the owner. $600 million in steel has been stolen and sold. Vitally important. Now, over the last couple of days, we've been following the grain development. And I told you guys we have to watch this slowly, because there's 3 steps that had to happen. The first step was there had to be a willingness to negotiate. We had that, and they negotiated. Secondly, we had to have a signing. We had that. Now, of course, Ukraine did their part. They sent their agricultural secretary. Russia, of course, sends Shoigu, one of their lead military generals, just making statements, folks. That's step 2. Third step, and I said last night, go watch it. We will follow to see if Russia carries through with their agreement. The ink was not even dry on the paper, and Odessa was struck. Odessa is one of the approved ports. So I want to review with you. Yesterday, Ukraine-Russia grain exports deal signed. Who were the major players? You have the representative Kubrakov, the Ukrainian infrastructure agricultural minister, and then Sergei Shoigu, Russian defense minister. You have President Erdogan, and then, of course, Antonio Guterres from the United Nations. These were the players. This was the deal. Odessa, also Yuzhny and Chornomorsk. These were going to be the ports that were allowed. Just hours later, after our stream last night, Odessa was struck in a massive way. Odessa was struck. 10 cruise caliber missiles. Here are the facts. 4 were shot down by Ukrainian air defense. 2 missiles did strike the port facilities, and unfortunately, 4 other cruise missiles struck the city. It's unbelievable. Well, no, let me walk that back. Yeah, they said they struck the Harpoon system. No, I actually had the fire video. I just don't have time to show it. No matter what they were aiming at, they struck Odessa, the approved port. Pure evil. What else can we say? We've heard it many times. We cannot trust anything from the Kremlin. It's clear. It's obvious. Now, here we go. What happens next? Well, Secretary General Antonio Guterres unequivocally condemns reported strikes today in the Ukrainian port of Odessa. This was early, full implementation of the commitments made yesterday by the Russian Federation, Ukraine, and Turkey is imperative. I have a question. What did they think would happen? I mean, come on, folks. I I almost said last night, but I chose not to because I was hoping not only that we would begin to get grain out in a couple of weeks, but that actually there would be no strikes. I was hoping. But I'm telling you, I almost said it, and I don't wish I would have, but now I wish I would have, because I was going to say I give it 24 hours and Odessa and the ports will be struck. And it was that close to coming out of my mouth. I said, you know what? Don't say that. Don't say that, because we don't know. We don't have facts. That's just you guessing. Well, 150 days watching this, a lot of this is not guessing. We know the behavior that's coming, and the world just watches. So Guterres, what did you think would happen? Let's go to the next one. What did they think would happen? Part 2. Joseph Fonteles, EU, strongly condemns Russian missile strike on Odessa seaport, striking a target crucial for grain export a day after, no, hours after, the signature of Istanbul agreements is particularly reprehensible and again demonstrates Russia's total disregard for international law and commitments. They invaded Ukraine February the 24th. They invaded Ukraine through the separatist activity in 2014. They stole Crimea 2014. I could keep going back in history. Why would you think they wouldn't? I should have said it last night. I was going to say it, but I hoped not. Podolyak, out of President Zelensky's office. You know these guys. He came out tonight, their night, hours ago, and said there will be no further negotiations, period. He wrote, Russian Federation is predictably worthless. Folks, this was easy to see. We knew it was going to happen. We hoped it wouldn't. The ink has not had time to dry out, yet there are two vile provocations: attack on a seaport in Odessa and a statement by Russian Defense Ministry that Ukrainian ports are dangerous for shipping. That's the other part that maybe you did not see in your news during the daytime. It wasn't just that the ports were struck, but the Russian Defense Ministry then came out and put out an official statement that Ukrainian ports are dangerous for shipping. So what did you agree to yesterday? Nothing. They didn't agree to nothing. Folks, this is why Shoigu went. This is all a game. Paul Massaro, I've referenced this guy 2 or 3 times. Paul Massaro is a senior policy advisor, but he's a smart guy. Commission on Security and Cooperation in Europe. This is the U.S. Helsinki Commission. It's made up with about 20 House of Representatives members, and their goal is peace and security and intelligence, information regarding to Europe and policy. Here's his quote. I only gave one. This guy went crazy. Russia will never hold to any agreement. We know the solution is Ukrainian victory, followed by a heavily armed Ukraine that deters Russia, and total isolation of Russia. It was a big deal today. So now I have the big question for you. Don Gentilini, you are spot on. Back in the USSR. And listen, folks, you guys know, you've been in here on this stream with me a lot. You know this guy here, Gentilini, lived in Romania, worked in Eastern Europe during the Soviet Union in the 80s. We're talking about the peak of the Soviet Union in the Cold War. He knows the USSR. He writes, back in the USSR, Putin understands one thing: stronger military power. Turkey will come to the rescue to show their negotiation power, winking at Putin. NATO and EU need to step up or shut up. I agree completely. Now, so the question tonight is this: for whom is this the biggest slap in the face? What am I referring to? I'm talking about this grain deal, and specifically Russia striking with missiles within hours of it being signed. Who has the most egg on their face? Is it Ukraine? Of course not. Is it Russia? No. What? Is it the United Nations? No. Who is it? Well, I'm going to tell you who it is right now. President Erdogan and Turkey. This is the biggest slap in the face, of course, from a few days ago. We've got Ibrahim Raisi, we've got Vladimir Putin, and we've got Erdogan celebrating the greatness of their coalition. Watch out, Israel. They're coming. Another topic, another day. But we see this. Oh, man, we're negotiating with Iran, Russia. We're taking care of Syria. We're talking about terrorism. Friday in Istanbul, man, we're signing the agreement for the grain. Look, remember, Turkey wants to have the #1 army in the world. Oh, actually, Erdogan's thinking, I'm running the show here. How does it look for you now, Mr. Erdogan? Sorry, but the egg is on your face, dear sir. Let me read this to you, folks. Sesha mojit vizatni rosu державаюсь спонсором терроризму. Did you get it? Here's what it says. Would the USA please add Russia to their list of states who sponsor terrorism? Currently, in the United States, North Korea, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Sudan, South Yemen, and Cuba. These are the nations officially declared as state sponsors of terrorism. Out in Ukrainian press today, would you please add Russia? What else do you need to see? Very interesting as well, of course, the hottest one there, Iran. And that's where work is happening in front of our face. Now, folks, I want to go to the big topic of the night. I want to go to the big topic of the night. I know that you guys, just like I, have seen the reports that 85% of the Russian military is in Ukraine. That is the most bogus piece of news on the planet. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it's not true, just mathematically. Secondly, this is the thing that I share with you that we need to stay on top of. Just don't run with these numbers, but look into them. And I'm going to show you a few things, starting with this. Most of the Russian military that is active in Ukraine right now are not Slavic. They are not native Slavs. They are not from the Moscow region, from St. Petersburg. They're not from Nizhny Novgorod. They're not, I'm going to show you this in a moment. Most of the soldiers that are in the nation of Russia or adjacent are not native Slavs. Who are they? Well, a majority of the soldiers fighting in Ukraine right now are from South Ossetia. They are from Chechnya. Remember, Don Kadyrov, Don, that's Chechnya. They are from Chuvashia. They are from Tatarstan. That would be the city of Kazan, central Russia. They are from Tuva, and they are from Bashkortostan. Now, yes, that's Russia, except South Ossetia, that's really Georgia. But these are Russians, but they're not native Slavs. If you look and you watch on the news, you see that many look, well, some may look like Asian and Mongolian and Chinese. It's because they're different ethnicities. 85%, sorry, it may be 85% of non-Slavs, but I'm telling you right now, 85% of the Russian military is not inside of Ukraine. Let me explain it to you this way. Population of Russia. Should be okay. The population of Russia, 144 million. Ukrainian population, 42 million before the mass exodus. Used to be 48 million just 2 decades ago. Majority of Russian soldiers in Ukraine are from these regions in the red box. Left of the red line is where the majority of ethnic Russians, ethnic Slavs live. These folks, many of them, are not in Ukraine in the war. They are using other ethnicities, but not native Slavs. These are facts. We've looked at it. I've studied it out today. I did some research on it. The majority of the forces, now of those, maybe somebody has a number that 85% of some of their ethnic groups that are still Russian are in Ukraine. Probably. But native Slavs, the true Russian, no. They're in Moscow. They're in St. Pete. They're in Nizhny Novgorod. They're not there. Some are. But no, not to the numbers that everyone is saying that are there. Now, I have a question for you tonight. How much information does the average Russian citizen have? We've talked about, internet's cut off and YouTube's cut off and Facebook's cut off. Well, I hate to tell you this. YouTube's not cut off. You say, how do you know? I have friends in Russia. What? I thought YouTube was cut off in Russia. No. And even if it was, they could use VPNs, virtual private networks, and get on. Oh, well, Facebook is cut off. They're not getting any information on Facebook. Oh, really? No. Facebook's working in Russia. How do you know that? I have friends I talk to on Facebook. I mean, I could set one of them up and just type live and show you right where they're at. These things are still working. I don't care what Google says, and I don't care what Facebook says. They're working. So what does the average Russian citizen know? I have here a picture of a Russian grandmother, Russian babushka. What do they know? Well, many times they know more than Americans know. Oh, hold on now. We've got freedom of the press and the media. Yeah, but most of our people don't watch it. Most of the Americans are more concerned about themselves than they are concerned about others. Most Americans are so self-consumed, especially in the summer, it's more important for us to get to the lake versus see what is going on in the world. Nobody loves America more than me, but these are the truth. So a couple days ago, President Biden diagnosed with COVID. I think it was on Thursday. Of course, on Wednesday, President Zelensky's wife was with him, but on Thursday, diagnosed with COVID. And of course, that's the reason he's been misstating and brain fog and all these things. Not going to talk about that. But what I do want you to know is 48 hours ago, everybody's talking about President Biden with COVID. So within the last 48 hours, these grannies have been talking and they've been making statements. This is how we know that and this video is within the last 48 hours, because they're speaking directly about what is happening in Ukraine. You say, well, what video? How much does the average Russian citizen, the grandmas and the grandpas and the adults, have? Well, I'll show you.
Отряды Путина собрались на экстренное совещание обсудить глобальную обстановку безопасности в мире. Пожалуйста, Вера Михайловна, зачитывайте.
По сообщениям СМИ, Байден, пока еще действующий президент США, заразился коронавирусом. При этом контролирует ядерный чемоданчик неизвестно кто. Мы убеждены, что в США власть захватили сектанты-фанатики.
Америка, что вы творите? Фанаты правят миром в Америке, и это отражается на весь мир. Прекратите, прекратите, будьте людьми. Что вы делаете? Вы воюете с Россией на территории Украины. Вы уже ее разгромили, людей убили. Что вы делаете? Весь мир вы вовлекли в свою войну. Вам не стыдно? Но если есть люди в Америке, еще какие-то сознательные, добросовестные, ну встаньте же вы на защиту этого всего. Ну уберите вы своих фанатов, которые... Мы даже не знаем, у кого сегодня этот чемоданчик ядерный, и вы тоже не знаете, что вы творите. Вы сегодня угрозу делаете всему миру. Прекратите, американцы, мы требуем, мы вас просим, будьте же благоразумными.
Можете вылечить Байдена, привезите нам в Россию, мы его вылечим. А все ж таки надо было колоть спутником. Он бы не заболел.
А я хочу сказать, мы отряды Путина ничего не желаем ему плохого Джо Байдену. Пусть поправляется, хотя он столько сделал гадостей для своей страны и для нашей России. Но мы не сдаемся. У нас с таким вождем, как у нас президент, все будет хорошо. И мы настроены на оптимизм.
Америка, мы тебя просим, приди в себя.
Приди в себя! Приди в себя! Приди в себя!
Well, here is what I can tell you. The translation was perfect. I understood their Russian perfectly. It was spot on. Couple of things, and I know there's some humor in it. And you see these grannies and they're talking, but a couple of things that I want you to be aware of. And the reason I share it, they know what's going on. And yes, they're going to toe the line. They're going to be mouthpieces and they are just pawns and they're just giving their message. But do not think that the citizens of Russia do not know what is going on. I know you keep hearing, well, they're closed off, that, you know, they're not getting Western news. They're only getting what the Kremlin is pumping them. Well, the Kremlin must be pumping them that Joe Biden's struggling in his health, and they want to help. They want us to send Biden there to get healed up with the Sputnik 5. Well, the point being, give you a little smile tonight, but, and here's the thing I want you to know. I've been around grannies like that and older adults in Russia and Ukraine so many times. Please hear me. Outside of this war situation, they're wonderful people. Unless you've been there with me, I'm telling you the truth. You go have tea, you talk about stories, they'll make you dinners, they treat you like gold, they're friendly. But this has went to chaos, and we see it. So, you see what's going on. Yes, I saw a video of two teenage boys destroying street signs in Russia because they were blue and yellow. That is correct. I have seen the same video. With friends like these, who needs enemies? There's Orban from Hungary, of course, Putin from Russia. Orban came out today after the cruise missile strike on the Odessa ports. This is key to understand the timeline. He came out today, and after Russia struck Odessa, Orban stated two things. The first thing was sanctions from the EU are not going to work against Russia. Now, with that, I agree. We've been saying that since the first round, and now others are jumping on board. Yes, is it having some effect? Of course it is. But is it going to impact them to stop the war? Never. It only emboldens them to fight harder and to be more scrupulous. It was the wrong strategy. Sorry, the only strategy that works with the Soviet mentality of Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin is to smash him. That's it. Negotiating, being friendly. How's signing the grain deal working for you, Mr. Erdogan? It doesn't work. What works? We're stronger than you, and we have to show it. And they back down. That's how you deal with a bully. Orban came out today and said sanctions aren't going to work. That was statement number one. But statement number two that got Ukraine boiling was he told Ukraine to surrender. Give up your territory and stop this war. Of course, they're not going to. They're going to fight and they're going to defend their sovereign territory. But you see, we've called it literally from day one. Hungary is an ally of Russia. Doesn't matter what else you see. Now, a couple of last things for tonight. And this is why we always check our sources for war information. You guys know we've learned some lessons early on. We wait until we have double, triple confirmation. We don't share videos unless it's approved. Zhenya's still at the camp. He's doing well. He will be calling in live tomorrow at the auction. You get to see him there. Everything's good. But we try to double and triple check. So here is the headline from CNN, Ellie Kaufman and Barbara Starr. She's very famous for being in the White House. Look at this headline. U.S. seeing indications that Russian forces are trying to adjust for impacts of HIMARS, official says. Are you kidding? I mean, that's revelation. The U.S. seeing indications that Russian forces are trying to adjust to HIMARS. Wow. This is all we can talk about in our media? Of course they are. Well, you know, the HIMARS hit us. I think we need to move. That's what they're saying. It just shows you that really our media is not in tune with what's going on. I think most children in kindergarten would know that if you're struck, move. Not that big of a deal. But this is what our media focuses on. Finally, this is going to be a story that we continue to watch. Exchange rate. A couple of days ago, Ukraine devalued their currency 25%. Exchange rate jumped, went to 36.9 to 37, now pushing 39 to 41. We talked about a couple of days ago that it's probably going to go to 50. They were expecting that in 3 to 6 months, but at this clip, it may get there quicker. So we can just drop that. The first category there being the US dollar. Let's go in the middle between the buy and the sell. Let's just call it a 40. That's crazy, guys. You're talking about Ukrainians that are going to suffer immensely from this adjustment because their salaries didn't go up. Now, for us, supporting them with dollars, absolutely awesome. So there is a blessing in disguise here. And for U.S., for Ukrainian international economic activity, this also helps them. But the citizens are going to be struggling with this for a while. So we'll keep our eyes on the economics because we are deeply connected with that, with all of the humanitarian aid and the finances that together as a community we are raising. So folks, there you have it. That is the full update for tonight. Now, big thing tomorrow, Sunday, July 24th, our relief auction. Thousands of dollars in new merchandise, including furniture, home, seasonal decor, family fun activities, bounce houses, food. It's going to be right here, 246 South Mercer Street, Greenville, Pennsylvania. Our doors will open at 3 p.m. Auction begins at 5 p.m. For those of you that are a part of our community and you're from different parts of the country or other countries, and you say, man, I want to see what's going on there. Folks, we're going for it. So at 5 o'clock, we'll run the countdown. It'll be on my YouTube, it'll be on our church YouTube and the Facebook. We'll have it everywhere so that you can watch, be a part. And remember, I'm going to turn on the super chats tomorrow. If you're sitting there watching from some other state and you say, I think I want to donate, well, hit that button or go to blwc.org. Many options for you. Now, what's it really going to look like tomorrow? I caught up with Pastor Kent a little while ago, and here's a little preview for tomorrow.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Bethel Life. I'm Pastor Kent and we are in the sanctuary. This is our Ukraine Relief Auction weekend and we are excited about the opportunity tomorrow to continue to raise funds to support the humanitarian aid effort in Ukraine. First of all, I want to say thank you. We invite you to come out. Tomorrow we'll open the doors at 3 o'clock and you can come in and preview the items, register for the event, and we'll begin the auction at 5 o'clock. I want to thank Joe Miller for coming out and supporting us, professional auctioneer, to help us do that. And we invite you, if you're not from the area but you want to participate and be a part of that, we invite you to tune in. We're going to live stream the event beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on our website. Hey, I want to point to a couple things we have. First of all, on the wall, you'll see Donna Adams and her quilting group, a homemade or custom-made quilt, and it's in the Ukrainian colors. Also, I want to thank especially Steve and Erla Tankowicz. They have made most of this possible for us. They have donated probably 98% of the items that you see here, brand new items, household items, all seasons. You will not want to miss this. A featured item is going to be the pedestal oak Amish-made table that you see right in front of me. It is absolutely a gorgeous piece, including 4 chairs. You'll see also on the stage there we have a couple of brand new Ashley recliners. I want to say thank you to Mike Moss, Bear Furniture, for donating those. You'll see prints, again, right in the forefront there. You see a couple of prints by Larry Beckstein, and he does phenomenal work. You see seasonal items, and you see tables loaded across the front of the sanctuary. It's going to be a great day. You won't want to miss this opportunity to come out. Hey, you can do a little pre-Christmas shopping or shopping for family for all kinds of events. As you can see, we have seasonal items from fall to Christmas to everyday items, and it is going to be a fantastic event. We are excited. We have quality product, and you want to come out and be a part of that. And we just want to invite you. Come on out and see all that's happening. Listen, one of the Larry Beckstein prints we're also going to be raffling away, so you can buy tickets for that. We're going to give that away, and we're going to show you here in just a few minutes. We have a special item that's going to be auctioned off, a 2011 Toyota Camry. Thank you, Gordon Autos, for partnering with us to make this possible. So here we are at 246 South Mercer Street. That is Bethel Life Worship Center. As I mentioned, the auction starts tomorrow, 5 o'clock. One of the items going to be featured is this 2011 Toyota Camry LE model. It is a fantastic car. You can see the quality of vehicle it is. We are going to auction this off probably somewhere around 7 o'clock. I want to give a special thanks to Diane Fry, Gordon Autos, for sponsoring or partnering with us in this. We'll be selling this item along with all of the items that we've seen in the church. We are raising funds for Ukraine relief. Thank you for partnering with us as we continue to touch the hearts and lives of people in Ukraine. Together, we can make a difference. Come out and join us.
There you have it, folks. That is the update. That was Pastor Kent. Thank you, my friend. And yeah, it's going to be slamming because we're going to have that professional auctioneer, Pastor Kent and myself. We're going to be running around the building and encouraging people to raise their bids. Yep, going to pull on some heartstrings. Don't have to really pull on heartstrings. We've got great, generous people, and we thank you for being a part of this. We are over $125,000 raised in support of Ukraine. Every penny goes there. Just think about this for a moment. The community here, our church, working together all over the country. We've raised $1.8 million. Let that sink in for a moment. $1.8 million. That's the power of working together. And for that, we say thank you. Folks, that's it. Tomorrow night, 5 o'clock Eastern, the stream will be rolling. That will be the update. If anything crazy happens, of course, I'll update you if anything is pertinent and needs to be updated on day 151. But day 151 is going to be our auction, and you can be a part of it here. Thank you as always. Thank you for your support. Thank you to my man tonight, Brian Heckman, sitting over here. One more wave to him, my friend. There he is. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Let me check that. I see you there, Ricochet Mikolaev under fire. Let me look. Yes. I'm actually watching it come in right now. That is correct. So we'll be seeing what happens, but Mikolaev under fire right now. As you know, this is the, I don't want to say magic hours, but this is the hot zone. Typically that 4, 7, 8 a.m. Window, early morning is when the cruise missiles are flying. So we will continue and we will see. May the Lord bless you guys. Peace upon you. Peace upon Ukraine. We'll see you in less than 23 hours. See you 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock California time, midnight Ukraine time. Be blessed. Peace to you. Peace to Ukraine. See you tomorrow.